Hey guys, King of Charmass here. Today I'll be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And today I bring to you a triple ghost team that did really well against like some of the best slash top meta teams, and it features, it's triple ghost. But it's Sableye, Froslass, Switch, and Alolan Marowak in the back. This team did surprisingly well. Like, if you have a Sableye XL, thank you to the guaranteed candy trade gods. Because of that, me and my friends, whenever I met them for dinner last time, they traded, and I gave them a bunch of Sableye because, you know, you grinded for like Sableye Spotlight Hour, and I gave them a bunch of Sableye so that I can build my XL Sableye finally. So happy to have one. It's super bulky, and it's very, well, not super bulky, but the XL ability gives it enough bulk and power to where it's just an absolute destroyer in this cup. So really happy to have one, and especially with all the ghost types running around, if you get locked into one, it really sucks for you because foul play does heavy damage. So for my mental health tip for the day, today it is, do you have an extracurricular hobby? And I mean, like, do you have something else besides Pokemon Go? Pokemon Go isn't necessarily bad per se. However, if you're getting really anxious that you're not getting the latest and greatest shiny, or that you have like raid bosses, etc., like there's all this other stuff that you have to really think about, might not be a great hobby. Well, might not be really a calming, good extracurricular activity for you. Unfortunately for Pokemon Go PvP, there are a lot of shinies that are going to, there's shinies are just going to be everywhere. So if you feel like you're getting anxious that you're not getting every shiny, it's getting every shiny is really freaking hard. Or even just getting every perfect. Kind of unhealthy, very like gambling addiction type of deal, but try to really work on having an extracurricular activity outside Pokemon Go if you spend a lot of money on it. For example, King of Charmanders is a wrestling coach. He's also a therapist. Well, as a therapist, you kind of have to do like off education. So like I listen to like podcasts, etc., psychoeducation, so that I can increase my toolbox and my understanding of the hundreds of diagnoses out there for mental health and just mental health and just mental illnesses in general. You have to continue in education in order for you to become it's part of the job, and in order for me to become a very effective licensed professional counselor or marriage family therapist, I must continue my education. So get that extracurricular activity out to Pokemon Go. I do a lot of things outside Pokemon Go. I'm a wrestling coach. Again, I'm a therapist, and I like anime. I like food. I like traveling. I like food. But yes, find something that, especially if you like working out, etc., like physical hobbies. For example, King of Charmanders went into running half marathons so that he can increase his conditioning and cardio, so that he can hang with his wrestling kids and still take gold in jiu-jitsu tournaments when I go back to it. So that's my mental health tip for the day. And hopefully you find something, or near the holidays, you're thinking of your New Year's resolutions or something, add something in there. Anyways, this is Triple Ghost, and it does shockingly well against a lot of the meta for freaking the Holiday Cup, so it's really strong, and Sableye XL is a beast. It just really like trucks through so many things. Hope you enjoy the battles. Alright, so here we go. And I actually faced like 3 legends in here, so it's like really sweaty. Well, even at like Ace, it's sweaty because they're playing meta. We get Talonflame into a Sableye. And like I mentioned, Sableye XL is a beast. Look at these inserts. They're really doing a lot. So my opponent switches into a Charmtails, and I'm glad I recognized it because I was like, oh, this really sucks. So this is why we have a Alolan Marowak here. Alolan Marowak is able to deal with those Charmers because you don't want Sableye locked into a Charmer. Fun fact, guess what team I lost to 7-0 to against a double Charm team? And it was just, there was no way out because I got the Wigglytuff in the lead, and then it just lined up against Sableye, and I was GG's. So this team did go 7-0. Sadly, I lost to freaking double Charm, but it's what it is. You can't stop the rock, paper, scissors aspect sometimes. As you see, my Alolan Marowak does have Shadow Ball, so I'm going to ball out Hadouken, Kamehameha. The Turtle Wave is going to go out, and it's going to be mighty. And as you see here, my opponent actually thinks this is a Shadow Bone, so they don't shield. So there's some sweet plays you can pull off with Shadow Ball. Like I said, Shadow Bone isn't the wrong move, but with balling out, as it'll do heavy damage, and your opponent's just like, oh, dang. Like, that's a Shadow Ball. Yeah, and even resisted, like, Shadow Ball does heavy damage. As you see here, I tried to bait with Bone Club because I'm not going to get to a Shadow Ball. But my opponent probably isn't aware of it, so we might grab a shield, and we do. I'm going to switch into Sableye and Foul Play down. This should KO this Talonflame, and this was just a really finessing... I finessed the unholy hell out of my opponent. We're up 2 shields. You got 0 shields. This is a Wigglytuff, but it doesn't even matter because I have a whole freaking Froslass still ready to take you out, and I got 2 freaking shields, so... Froslass 2 shield strat is mighty, and combined with 2 very heavy... Well, Alolan Marowak isn't super heavy pressure because, you know, Fire Spin doesn't generate a lot of energy, but, like, well, it does work. You can do a lot of damage against ice types, which is why I have Fire Spin instead of Hex. Hex lets you generate energy, but with Fire Spin, you can farm down like Alolan Ninetales. You do better against the Ice, Water archetype, etc. And yes, you have that energy gain for Hex. However, if you get locked into some... It just does better overall, in my opinion. You can use Hex, you can use Fire Spin, but I like Fire Spin better just for Alolan Ninetales. Because against Alolan Ninetales, you're going to have a little bit of a hard time because it resists both Froslass and your Foul Plays from Sableye. Especially if it's Charm Tails. And as you see here, this team that was a real... I finessed the unholy hell out of my opponent. Took both shields, comboed into the freaking Foul Play, and dang. Speaking of Foul Play, you're about to see just how effective Foul Play is in battle. As you see, this is Stunfisk. Stunfisk is thick and bulky. However, because I have a Sableye XL, I'm able to pressure my opponent because Foul Play does a ton of damage here. And it's ridiculous. It's like, I'm like, this thing is so overpowered. I'm like, dear mother of mercy. This is, you know, this is the first time I've ever used Sableye for content, like full power Sableye. If you looked at my previous videos or watching my content for a while, this Sableye actually was underpowered. So thank you to my friends. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and you decided to give King of Charmanders an Sableye XL because I was able to trade for all that candy. So super happy for it. By the way, my friends went to Hawaii, so I'm like super jelly and I really want to go. But as you see, Foul Play is doing some damage. I try to time my Shadow Claws correctly just so they don't get that extra mud shot through, but it happens anyway, so it's okay. It's what it is, you know. You can't deny everything or stop everything, or, you know, freaking fast moves are just broken in general. So that's just the way the game operates. Technically, fast move canceling or whatever the hell you want to call it doesn't exist. It's just Go Battle League is broken, and it still hasn't been fixed for the longest time. I'm going to shield here. I want to take this last shield and keep alignment. Or they're just going to, like, we're going to break both shields and we're going to keep alignment. Or what they're going to do is they're going to let this Pancake go. Maple Pancake is double shielded, and I'm scratching my head as to why. Because unless you're double weak to Sableye, which is probably it. This is probably Stunfisk double Ghost. That's my predictor. Stunfisk double Ghost. Here's the problem. I have shields. You have no shield. I have a Froslass in the back. So, all we're going to do is farm down this poor Pancake, and then you probably have double Ghost in the back. Stunfisk goes down, and I'm guessing either a Froslass or Trevenant's going to come out, because that was the #1 team for the Holiday Cup on PvPoke.com. Cue the evil laugh. I try to time it just so that they don't catch the Shadow Ball, but if I'm guessing right anyways, if you catch the Shadow Ball on that second one, you're going to die anyways. This Shadow Ball will kill, and then you have a Trevenant in the back, and it's the double Ghost team that was #1 on PvPoke.com, and because you're about to get obliterated by Hurricane 6'9" Frostless Shiny from Tokyo, Japan. Yes, this is actually, that's my Frostless is actually from Japan. When I went to Yokohama Go Fest, there were Snorunt spawning, and I got a PvP Shiny Frostless, and I powered it up. It's ranked 370, does a lot of work, and does really well. I love my Frostless, and she's been good to me the entire time. She's my queen, and queen's doing well. Now, speaking of that, we have a freaking Ursaring in the lead, and my brain is just trying to comprehend what I'm seeing right now. It's like, when I first saw this, I was trying to like scour through my brain. I'm like, what the heck does Ursaring have as a charge move? And I was like really trying to figure it out. But because this is Shadow, Foul Play will do heavy damage. My idea is to shield this and then farm down this Ursaring, and it is a play rough. And I was like, I took a deep breath because I was like, oh my god, if I got hit by that would have sucked so much. I was like, okay, you have close combat, I forgot whatever else is, so I'm just gonna shield just in case, and it happens to be a play rough. And next we get a Weavile XL. This person's either being really spicy, but this is actually really scary because this Weavile XL totally does work against our entire team. So I'm going to Foul Play down, even though it's resisted, as you see here. Just because you're using a Shadow Weavile, it's like, bro, they're going to take heavy damage regardless. So we're going to try to pop shields, but I am definitely scared right now because I don't know what you have in the back. So I'm going to swap out into my Alolan Marowak and attempt to do enough damage so that I can hopefully burn down this Weavile. this is probably going to be a foul play, so I will shield. And they actually avalanche me, which I'm like, wait, what? I didn't need to shield that? I was just afraid of the foul play. They probably did it because they knew I was going to shield anyways, because they're like, oh, you know what? You're going to eat a foul play, you die anyways. We get a Shadow is that a Shadow Torterra with Razor Leaf? And then all my respect for this opponent just went out the freaking window. I was like, oh, I thought you were being spicy with like triple Shadow or something like that. No, you're using freaking grass and oh my god, just die. Just die. So I try to farm down here. Probably a really bad idea. I should just went for the Bone Club. And then, but I wanted extra farm. Basically what I was trying to like think of is just I want extra farm. So I want extra farm just so I can take out, so I can fire off a move against that Weavile, or Weavile has to burn all their energy here. So as you see, they do burn all their energy. This is likely a foul play. I should be able to Shadow Claw down for the victory because I'm able to resist. I resist the, well, I don't exactly resist it, but as you see here, my Shadow Claw damage does more than the Weavile with Snarl, or just pacing wise, and that's GG's. That was a very sweaty match because of the fact that you were running Shadow Razor Leaf in the back, and I almost got... Ursarings like to play rough. You know, they like to play rough. And we got legend on legend action again. And I'm like, oh, these battles are getting sweaty. Maybe I could 5-0, but I actually 7-0. And we get a great lead. Cofragrigus into our Sableye XL. I'm like, all right, this is good. They auto switch into Sableye, not Sableye, Skarmory. And then I'm going to send in Alolan Marowak, which is great for us. Now, here's one reason I like using Shadow Ball. Because when you ball out, here's what happens. Here's what happens. You know, Go Battle Like is mighty. And it's very generous. And oh my god. I was like, wow. I'm like, this is taking a minute. And then we're going to ball out. Literally ball out. And then we should put this in the red. And we do. I was really hoping that would KO. But Skarmory is a thick boy or a thick girl. Whichever one. It has a big booty. Steel. Body of steel. Thick legs. Great texture. And we get burbed. If that fire spin went through, that should KO. And then after that, we got to deal with the Cofragrigus. So... I actually finessed the unholy hell out of this Cofragrigus. As you see, I'm going to bait hard as hell. Hoping to grab a bait here, and then I'm going to bait again. They know it's a Shadow Ball, so that puts pressure on my opponent to shield, because they're like, if they get hit by a Shadow Ball, it's GG's. So I'm hoping what happens here is that they don't really notice, but I'm going to try to bait, because if I didn't fire at this interval, I wouldn't be able to make it a Shadow Ball anyways. I'm hoping my opponent doesn't know that. So we broke Run Shield. Hopefully we could bring two, and we got both. And I'm just vibing right now, because I'm like, all right. My Sableye has a shield, and my Froslass has a shield as well. We're going to send in a Sableye, and then we're just going to sponge this damage because it can eat a Shadow Ball. The keyword is can, because this is... Watch how much damage. This is like the... God, that does so much damage. Yes, it does neutral. And King of Charmanders knows that, but he still is like, dang, dude. I didn't think it would do that much. I probably should have shielded. I will shield this one, though, because I don't want my Sableye to go down. What I'm going to do here, though, is I'm hoping that I have a great matchup in the back, and I don't have a great matchup in the back. It's a freaking Greedent. Okay. So this is terrible because we all know Greedent has Crunch. And Crunch is a terrible, well, it's terrible for our Froslass because Greedent is incredibly bulky and I'm only going to get one Avalanche off. But I'm pretty comfortable here because all I really have to do is double up on Foul Play and that's GG's. Still not comfortable because you never like Greedent with Bullet Seed charges up so unseemly fast. You're like, why did you have to give this thing Bullet Seed of all things? Crunch will go off. They're going to fire another one off before I get this Avalanche. So all I really have to do is just finesse my opponent and just double up on Foul Play. So you're just going to see me. Expert Energy Management is always great for 2-turn move mons like Sableye. You need Expert Energy Management in general. I fire after 2 because I'm not really counting. I should be able to get to another Foul Play before that Cofragrigus does, just because that Cofragrigus is energy dry. So it's going to just take 2 Shadow Claws, and then I get to the Foul Play. As you see here, we're going to literally just play foul instead of rough, and we're going to destroy our opponent, and that's GG's. That was a really sweaty matchup. Even though they lost the lead, the reason why I was so sweaty is just because of the back row. You're like, oh, it's a freaking Greedent, and Greedent technically beats my entire team because of Crunch, and the fact it doesn't take super effective damage from Avalanche or Powder Stone. So I'm like, oh, this is great. For the final battle, we got Sableye into Stunfisk, and this is actually going to be pretty nutty. You're going to see this Stunfisk. I'm like, okay, it's another Stunfisk, but this time it's the Thundershock one, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be a little dicey, because here's what's going to happen. I can do heavy damage, so Sableye does convincingly win the 2-shield against a Pancake, but they can choose to be a little fancy in this scenario. As you see, one Foul Play almost does half its HP. Freaking Sableye. I have never played with you before. Except till now. But I have, but like you were obscenely underpowered and somehow I still took doubles with you just because you're obscenely overpowered. And we get a Dugong, which I'm like, oh, this is terrible. Dugong is insanely bulky, and it has play against practically all my mons. It double resists freaking Powder Snows from Froslass. The only prayer I have is Alolan Marowak. So we're going to send Alolan Marowak, and I'm basically not going to shield Jack. I'm going to hope my opponent just dries their energy here, or I can set something up for Sableye or Froslass in the back and just leave them with shields. And as you see, our opponent calls the Icy Wind, and then we call it, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm going to just ball out. Even -1 ball is going to do a lot of damage. This is where Shadow Bone is kind of a little better because you might get the defense debuff. But like I mentioned, I like ball damage and I don't want to use an Elite Tam on this one. So as you see, even -1 ball damage does like a good chunk, about 1/3 of Dugong's health. And it's just freaking nuts just how much damage it does. I'm like, oh dang. Okay. Balling out like Steph Curry with the 3-point contest. Well, let's see. Klay Thompson is coming back soon. So if you are an NBA fan, oof, I can't wait. Also, if you are a fan of AEW, you know Kenny Omega, right? He used to use Hadouken as like a finisher. It's like a double palm thrust. It was freaking awesome way back in the indie scene before he became like the best bout machine he is today. So if you, there you go, a little bit of wrestling history. I send in my freaking Sableye against this Vigoroth for 2 reasons. I am basically going to just have... I'm going to save my shields for Froslass, and then I'm going to have to doubling up on Avalanche should get me the W over here. So we're just going to Foul Play down. I'm not going to shield this because it's either going to be a Body Slam or it's going to be a Bulldoze. They need to get the bait, though, to give some play for them. And as I do it, as you see, I called the bait, which means I should be able to get to this Foul Play unless they decide to expend all their energy. So I will let this go, and then all I'm going to do here is that I am going to just use Froslass with a 2 shield. I still have a sack for Alolan Marowak, even though it's still really freaking healthy, so it's technically not even a sack. So I'm like, okay, what do I do here? And I elect to send in my Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak should be able to get to a Shadow Bone, or not Shadow Bone, Bone Club, but I actually do something really dumb here, and you're going to see. You're going to be like, what the hell, King of Charmanders? Why didn't you fire him? I'm asking the same thing, you know? My life choices aren't exactly the thing. So, I don't fire. So, the Froslass 2-shield strat is mighty, and I'm just like, why did you send Alolan Marowak to its dead? Just basically to sponge all the energy from this pancake. But you could have done it the other way around, too, but it doesn't really matter. My idea was just to have Froslass with 2 shields, double Avalanche, and we sent Vigoroth into the next Ice Age, which is approximately 69 million years from now, or 420 billion BC, whichever one you say. If you caught those references, those numbers, that was pretty slick, huh? My shoutcasting abilities are amazing. Anyways, as you see, our opponent just quits out because he knows he's about to get double avalanched, and that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As you see, this team's really safe. Unfortunately, you do need a Sableye XL, or you can use the level 41, but like Sableye XL is a beast. And as you see here, I 5-0'd in the very first set I used this team. I was like, I put it together and I was like, this might actually be pretty solid. And as you see at 5-0'd, it actually went 7-0. So 7-0 in freaking Holiday Cup. It's a very powerful team and so versatile. So hope you guys enjoyed the battles. And that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As you see, Triple Ghost is pretty nuts against the overall freaking Holiday Cup meta. The amount of pressure and just sheer damage this team puts together is just pretty nuts. And of course, Sableye is freaking OP. Why hasn't Sableye been banned for the Holiday Cup? I don't know. But as you see here, if you don't get locked into a Charmer, you should be pretty good. Or even if you get locked, as long as it's in the back or you trap it with Alolan Marowak, or if you have Avalanche, which is just ready to roll with Froslass, you can come out with a dub. Hope you guys enjoyed the battles. Those were freaking amazing. And freaking, I love Sableye. Like, it's like, now that I have one built, I'm like, oh my god, so this is why everybody uses you. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the battles. Do me a huge favor, please like and subscribe. You see next to my 2 Charmanders, that little box at the bottom right, there's a subscribe box. Liking and subscribing is totally free, and I'd appreciate it if you could give us a subscribe. I really appreciate my current subscribers, and we're almost at 3K subs, which is my goal by the end of the year. And we're pretty much about to hit it, so I really do appreciate all you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those, like, god, like, I freaking love Sableye. I can't wait to feature another Sableye video, but I haven't got, like, the fact that I have gone without Sableye, considering it's, like, literally one of the top Metamons of all time for so long, has just been freaking hilarious to me. But you know what? It's what it is. As you see, I hope you guys have a wonderful time with your Go Battle League set. It is almost Christmas, so happy holidays, happy New Year's, and I can't wait to see y'all in 2022. Well, 2021 isn't over yet, and I got a whole bunch of work to do before I start streaming again for 2022. So, again, please do me a huge favor. Please like and subscribe. Good luck in your Go Battle League sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.